Hello everyone, welcome to the Novel Garden. In today's audio, we will explore chapter 21 to 35, Oliver Twist, along with its important themes and deeper analysis in English. At daybreak, Bill Sikes forces Oliver to travel with him through the busy streets of London. As they pass through Smithfield Market, Oliver watches the crowded scene filled with animal, carts, traders, and noisy people. Although many pubs are open along the road, Bill does not stop anywhere. They continue their journey for the entire day, sometimes walking and sometimes riding in passing carts. By evening, they have moved far away from London and finally arrive at an old lonely house that looks broken and abandoned. Inside the ruined house, Oliver meets Toby Cricket and Barney. The men give food and strong drinks to Bill and then rest for a few hours. Around 1:30 in the morning, the group wakes up and prepare for a secret mission. Wearing dark clothes and carrying tools, Bill and Toby take Oliver with them into the cold, foggy night while Barney stays behind. The night is extremely dark because thick fog covers the area and there is no moonlight. The three quietly pass through a small town and eventually reach a large house surrounded by a wall. Bill and Toby lift Oliver over the wall. At that moment, Oliver realizes they are planning to rob the house. Terrified, he begs them to let him go. Bill becomes furious and points a gun at him. But Toby stops him. Instead, Toby threatens Oliver and forces him to obey. Bill carefully opens a small window and orders Oliver to crawl inside the house and unlock the front door from within. Oliver secretly decides that instead of helping the thieves, he will warn the people living in the house. He slowly moves forward toward the staircase. Suddenly, Bill shouts for him to return. At the same moment, Oliver sees two men appear upstairs. A gun is fired, followed by loud cries and confusion. Oliver is shot and collapses. Bill quickly dragged the wounded boy back through the window and escaped with him, while more gunshots echo through the darkness. Weak and frightened, Oliver finally loses consciousness. Mrs. Corney, the matron of the workhouse, is peacefully enjoying tea by herself when Mr. Bumble comes to visit her. As they sit together, the two begin talking harshly about the poor people living in the workhouse, complaining about their behavior and needs. During the conversation, Mr. Bumble grows more affectionate toward the widow and moves closer to her, eventually kissing her. While they are together, a message suddenly arrives informing Mrs. Corney that an elderly woman in the workhouse is close to death and wishes to see her immediately. Mrs. Carney leaves the room at once, forcing Mr. Bumble to remain behind alone while waiting for her return. He admires the comfortable room, carefully noticing the valuable furniture, silver items, and other belongings. His thought revealed that he is strongly attracted not only to Mrs. Carney herself, but also to the wealth and comfort she possesses. Mrs. Corney soon reaches the bedside of the dying woman, who is revealed to be the nurse present at the birth of Oliver Twist. Weak and filled with guilt, the old nurse decides to confess a secret she has hidden for many years. She admits that after Oliver's mother died, she stole a small object made of gold from her body. Before she can fully explain what the object was and why it mattered, the old woman suddenly dies, leaving the mystery unfinished. In the house at Whitechapel, Jack Dawkins, Charlie Bates, and Tom Chatling spend their time playing cards while Fagin sits nearby, restless and deeply worried. unlike his usual self. He pays little attention to the game and seems distracted by anxious thought. Suddenly, the sound of the bell interrupts the room. Jake opens the door and discovers that Toby Cricket has returned alone. Seeing Toby without Bill, Sykes or Oliver immediately alarm again. Alarm Fagin. He quickly sent Charlie and Tom away so he can hear the news privately. Toby explained that he and Bill managed to escape after the failed burglary, but armed men and dogs chased them through the darkness. Because they feared being caught, they left the wounded Oliver behind in a ditch before fleeing for their own safety. Hearing this, Fagin becomes overwhelmed with fear and panic. Without saying much more, he rushed out of the house at once. Fagin traveled to a place called Cripples, where he asks about a mysterious man named Monks. He leaves a message requesting Monk to meet him. The following day, afterward, Fagin goes to Bill Sykes' room and finds Nancy sitting there alone, upset and worried about Oliver's fate. During their conversation, Fagin reveals how important Oliver is to him. He admits that he cares more about keeping control of Oliver than about the lives of the other criminal in his gang, whom he could betray without hesitation. In this agitation, Fagin almost revealed a dark secret about himself and another dangerous person connected to his plan. But he suddenly stops speaking before finishing his sentence. Carefully checking that Nancy has not noticed his mistake, he leaves for home. There he meets Monks, who is furious after learning that Oliver has disappeared. Monks insists that Oliver must not die because his death could somehow connect back to him. Instead, he wants Oliver removed far away, where he can never return. While the two men are talking, Monks suddenly notices the shadow of a woman outside the door. Although they search the area, no one is found. Meanwhile, back at the workhouse, Mr. Bumble continued admiring Mrs. Connie's furniture and belongings while waiting for her return. When she finally comes back from visiting the dying nurse, she appears deeply shaken. Mr. Bumble comforts her, while also helping himself generously to her drink. During their discussion, he informs her that the master of the workhouse is close to death, meaning an important position will soon become vacant. Taking advantage of the moment, he proposes that they should marry and combine their homes and property. Mrs. Connie agrees to the marriage, though she keeps secret the information she learned about Oliver's mother. Later, Mr. Bumble visits the undertaker's shop to order a coffin for the dead woman. Finding the owners absent, he discovers Noah Claypole and Charlotte inside, behaving carelessly while eating oysters and drinking alcohol. When Noah jokingly calls Charlotte over for a kiss, Mr. Bumble becomes angry and scolds them for their improper behavior. After the failed robbery, Bill Sykes and Toby Cricket abandoned the wounded Oliver near the road, while escaping from armed pursuers, weak, hungry, and injured. Oliver wanders through the rain until he reaches the same house. The thieves had tried to rob. He collapses at the doorstep and is taken inside by the servant. Giles believes Oliver is one of the burglars, but the kind-hearted Rose Malley, Mrs. Malley, and the doctor, Mr. Losburn, feel sympathy for him and decided to care for him. When Bow Street officers arrive to investigate the robbery, Mr. Losburn cleverly protects Oliver from the suspicion. Because Oliver is seriously ill, with fever and broken arm, the officers lose interest in him and finally leave slowly. Oliver recovers while leaving safety with the Malleys. Later, Mr. Losburn takes Oliver to London to search for Mr. Brownlow. Oliver hopes to prove that he is innocent and not a thief. However, they discover that Mr. Brownlow has left for the West Indies and with Mr. Badwin. For the West Indies with Mrs. Badwin. Disappointed, Oliver returned with Malice to their peaceful country cottage. Life in the countryside changes Oliver's life completely. Away from crime and poverty, he receives education, learns reading and writing, attends church, and experiences genuine love and kindness for the first time. Dickens presents the countryside as peaceful and morally pure, unlike the dark and dangerous streets of London. During the summer, Rose Malley suddenly becomes dangerously ill. Mrs. Malley sent Oliver with an urgent letter for Mr. Losberne. On the way back, Oliver accidentally meets the mysterious monk who becomes frightened after recognizing him and suddenly falls during an epileptic attack. This incident increased the mystery surrounding Oliver's identity and Monk's secret connection with him. Rose's illness becomes very serious, and everyone fears she may die. However, after several painful days, she slowly recovers. Soon afterward, Harry Melly arrives and expresses his deep love for Rose. He asks her to marry him, but Rose sadly refuses, despite loving him sincerely. She believes her unknown background and humble origins may damage Harry's future political career and social reputation. Harry promises that he will ask her again after 1 year. One evening, Oliver suddenly sees Fagin and Monks secretly staring at him through the cottage window. Harry, Mr. Losberne, and the other quickly search for them, but the two men disappear mysteriously. These chapters end with suspense, and the mystery of Oliver's true identity continue to grow. Now it's time to important analysis of chapter 21 to 35 from Oliver Twist. Now let's start. In these chapters strongly develop the conflict between good and evil. Sykes and Monks represent crime, greed and corruption, while Rose Miley, Mrs. Miley and Mr. Losberne represent kindness, morality and compassion. Oliver stands between these two worlds, and Dickens shows how environment can shape a child's future. After being rescued by the Mileys, Oliver received the second opportunity to escape crime and begin a better life. Charles Dickens emphasized that love, education, and kindness can save innocent children from corruption. Dickens created a strong contrast between London and the countryside. London is dark, dangerous, dirty, and connected with crime. The countryside is peaceful, bright, and safe, and morally pure. This contrast symbolizes the difference between corruption and innocence. Monks becomes one of the most mysterious characters in the novel. His secret meeting with Fagin and his fear of Oliver suggest that Oliver's birth and family history contain an important secret. Dickens slowly built suspense to keep readers interested. Monks is presented like a gothic villain. His dark cloak, mysterious appearance, secret movement, and frightening behavior create a gothic atmosphere in the novel. The scene where Oliver wakes to see Fagin and Monks staring through the window feels dreamlike and terrifying. Dickens criticizes Victorian society throughout these chapters. He attacks the cruelty of workhouse, poverty, poor treatment of children, and social inequality. The kindness of the Malays is shown as true charity, very different from the harsh institutional system Oliver experienced earlier. Rose symbolizes purity, goodness, and selfless love. Even though she loves Harry deeply, she sacrifices her own happiness because she believes her unknown past may damage his future. Dickens presents her as morally noble and compassionate. At the country cottage, Oliver begins learning reading and writing. Dickens suggests that education and a healthy environment are important for personal growth and moral important. So, these chapters combine suspense, mystery, danger, and emotional scene. The robbery, Oliver's injury, Monk's appearances, Rose's illness, and Harry's proposal keep readers emotionally connected to the story. The Mellies and Mr. Losburn help Oliver because they see his innocence and suffering. Dickens shows that compassion and understanding are more powerful than judgment and punishment. Thank you for listening. In the next audio, we will continue the journey of Oliver and see what happened next. Stay connected with the novel Garden for more simple summaries and clear analysis. Thank you so much. Bye.